Yo, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be going over the best FPS and visibility settings for the new Black Ops 6 Warzone integration. Alright, so first things first, we're going to be going over the best Windows settings and the document settings as well. So first thing we want to do is we go to our search, we're going to type in game mode. We're going to open up game mode settings. And we're going to make sure game mode is turned on. Turn game mode on. It does work best for the new integration of Warzone. Next, we're going to go to graphics. And we're going to go change default graphics settings. And we're going to make sure our default high performance GPU is our GPU. Mine's a 7900 XTX. We're going to make sure hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is on. Variable refresh rate's on. And optimized for Windows is turned on as well. And you can go back out of that and we're all done. Next we want to do is we're going to find our Call of Duty game in this list here. So for me, it's right there. And we're going to click on it and we're going to go options and we're going to make sure it's set to high performance along with your GPU down the bottom. And we click save and we're done with that. And we can close out of that one. Next, we're going to check for our Windows update. So we go search update, we go check for updates, and we're going to check for updates and make sure our PC is the most up-to-date for Windows currently. Sometimes there are some bugs with some GPUs and CPUs that come out that are fixed via a Windows update. So make sure your PC is up to date as much as possible. And once that's done, you can close out of that. All right, next we're going to go into our documents folder and change some Call of Duty settings in the documents folder. So we go to File Explorer. We're going to go to Documents. We're going to find Call of Duty. And we're going to go Players. And then we're going to find s.10.cod, s.1.0.cod24. And we're going to open that one. From here, you're going to go Control F and you can type thread and you're going to find your thread count for handling the job queue. Now, on the screen right here, you can see the best values to put in for your current CPU. For me, it's always at 7 based on my current CPU. So make sure you put it, whatever it says on this list above here. Make sure to put that right here where it says thread for count for handling job queue. You just delete it and press your number in. And then you press Control S to save it or file and save, and then you're all done. You can close out of that one as well. Next, we're going to go back into our players document folder here. We're going to find these sort of random numbers, which is generally underneath all the files. For me, this is what it says here. There's 7651, whatever it is. Open that up, and we're going to go down to gamer.profile.0.base, this one here. Okay, and from here, we're going to go down until we find controller advanced. And we want to make sure that this is set to 0. Adjust the time and max stick deflection before sprinting in milliseconds. Sprint assist delay gamepad. Make sure that is set to 0. If it's anything else, if it says 400, delete it, press 0, and then file and save. If you're on a mouse and keyboard, you can go down a bit further. It says KBM advanced. Same title here, sprint assist delay, KBM. If it says anything else than 0, delete it and press 0 and file and save, and we're done. Close out of that one. Right, now we're going to get into our in-game settings into Warzone. Right, and I just want to note on this that I have been playing on Steam for Warzone for the last, 2 years or so on PC. Now, there is a bug currently with Steam. So I have switched over to Battle.net and my frames have gone through the roof. So if you're playing on Steam on PC, switch over to Battle.net now. It is the best way to get the most FPS. Steam's bugged. There's something going on. There is a fix for it if you check out my last short video on YouTube. But right now, play on Battle.net. All right, now that they're in the game, we're going to go start and we're going to go across to our settings and we're going to start with graphics settings. So this is going to be the best balance for FPS and visibility in the game. So that, if you're FPS chasing, you're going to set everything to low and your game's going to probably look not the greatest. So this is the best balance for FPS and quality. So for me, I play on full screen borderless. I am a streamer. I've got 3 screens. I like to switch between my screens without the game minimizing. So I play on full screen borderless. If you want the least amount of input delay, choose full screen exclusive. It's not a big difference. So full screen borderless works fine if you've got more than one monitor. Make sure your display monitor is set to your monitor. Your display adapter is your graphics card. As you can see, mine's the 7900 XTX. Make sure your aspect ratio is set to automatic. You can restart your shaders pre-loading. This will do the shader loading update that you see at the top of your screen sometimes after updates. Display gamma 2.2. Gamma/brightness, I set mine to 55. I like to up it just a little bit more, but use what's preferable for your monitor. Hit apply and you're done. Eco mode preset we set to custom. VSync off. VSync menus off. Custom frame rate, I have on unlimited. You can set this to a custom and set it to your monitor's refresh rate. However, I just play on unlimited. It doesn't seem to make too much of a difference for me. Reduce menu render resolution, we just have it on native. Pause game rendering, we have off. Reduce quality when inactive, we have off. Focus mode, make sure that's all the way on 0. And HDR, it's set to automatic. Right, now over to the quality tab. In your graphics preset, these are the graphics presets, don't select these. When you change a graphics setting in game, it will automatically switch over to custom. Render resolution, make sure this is set to 100. If you set it down, it's going to affect the quality of your monitor and how the game looks. So make sure this is set to 100, which generally will be, if you're on 1080 monitor, it will be a 1920 by 1080. For me, I'm on a 1440p monitor. This is 2560 by 1440. Dynamic resolution, we have that off. Scaling, upscaling / sharpening, we have set to fidelity CAS, and it is bugged sometimes, so you may have to go back in, and then you can set this fidelity CAS strength to 95. Seems to work best, great for sharpness. VRAM scale target we have set to 90. Variable rate shading, make sure you have this turned on. This will give you an FPS boost. Variable rate shading, make sure it's on. All right, so for text resolution, we're going to put this on normal. Now, if you have a very low-end GPU, you can put this on low or very low to give you more frames and use less of your sort of graphics card memory and everything like that. So I see mine to normal. It gives you the better quality as well in game. Texture filter anisotropic, however you say it, we set that to low. Depth of field, we have off. Detail quality on low. Particle resolution, we set this to normal. Bullet impacts we have off. If you want to have bullet impacts on, that's fine. It doesn't take too much frames, maybe 1 to 2 frames. Persistent effects we have off. Shader quality we have set to low. On-demand texture streaming we have on optimize, and you're going to set it to how much gig of RAM you have in your PC. So for me, I've got 64 gigs of RAM. Download limits we have off, and local texture streaming quality we set to low. Shadow and lighting, we're going to put this shadow quality on very low. Screen space shadows on off. Occlusion and screen space lighting off. Screen space reflections normal. Static reflection quality on low. Tessellation we have set to all. Volumetric quality low. Deferred physics quality off. Weather grid volumes quality off. And water quality we have set off. Over to the view tab, we have motion reduction preset. We have this turned off. Field of view we set to 120. You can set this to however you prefer. I prefer playing on 120. It just gives me that bigger, wider field of view. ADS field of view, we make sure that's on affected, not independent. Weapon field of view set to wide. Once again, gives you more space to see peripherally on your left and right. Third person field of view set to 90. Vehicle field of view you set to wide. Weapon world motion blur we have off. Weapon motion blur we have off. First person camera movement at least 50%. Third person camera movement at least 50%, and third person ADS transition as third person ADS. Inverted flashbang, I prefer to have this on. I don't want the big white screen in my face blinding me. I have this set so it flashes. When I get hit with the flashbang, it is black. Right, over to the interface tab now. This is pretty much, a lot of these are going to be default. I'll just go through the ones that I've changed. So we have skip introduction movie we have on. When the game loads, I don't want to see the introduction movie. We make sure we have that turned on. Telemetry, this is where you show like FPS counter, server latency, packet loss. I want to know if the server I'm in is located within my region. So I make sure server latency is on because I can tell which one. Packet loss, once again, if I'm getting packet loss in the game, I want to know so I can either back out, leave, or just deal with it until it goes away. I have my clock on as well. All right, now this is for the best color settings in game. Color customization under readability. We're going to go into that. You can change your colors for however you like. What you want to do is select color filter, put on color filter 2. Color filter target we set to both. And world color intensity at 100, interface color intensity at 100. This will make the game pop more in colors and it will be better, more visually for you, and you can see a lot further and a lot better in the game. Gameplay HUD. HUD bounds, you can change your HUD bounds if you want to bring down where your mini-map is on your screen. It's not going to reduce sort of the bounds of the game on your monitor or anything like that. Mini-map shape, god damn it, we make sure we put this on square. Square is a more spaced object and shape than round. Make sure it is on square. Mini-map rotation on, radar off. I don't really like the radar. Compass type, you can have horizontal. You can move this around, off or on, whatever you like. Vehicle HUDs, in-game text chat, leave on. Crosshairs. Now this one's a little bit different. So this is something they've added into the game. crosshair dot we have on. I do set mine to larger. Crosshair spread, I like to turn it off because I don't want that sort of spread every time it's on there. So we'll get rid of that. Crosshair opacity, we have it at 100%. Crosshair color, now this is what I said to you. It's like a cyan color. This is apparently what the human eye can see the best. So I set this to cyan. Give it a try, see what you like. You can play around with it and put whatever color you like. Cyan is the preferred color for me. Over to controller settings. Now, these are going to be a little bit of preference. However, this is what I play. So I play on a button layout of tactical. I have 4 buttons on the back of my controller. This is just the best way I've got it set up for myself. Play on however you like. Tactical is my go-to. 6 sensitivity and vertical. This is by preference. I play on about a 6.5. I don't like so much vertical 6 sensitivity because I don't want to flick up too much. You know what I mean? So I play 6.5, 7.5 sometimes depending on how I'm feeling. But 6.5 works best for me. Controller vibration, we make sure we have that turned off. We don't want that on. Trigger effect on off. Dead zone inputs. These are the best dead zone inputs. Left stick minimum at the lowest possible. Somewhere between 0 and 3. I see mine on 0. I don't mind a bit of stick drift. I mean, it gives me a little bit of aim assist just from stick drift, right? Left stick max, we have it set to 60. Right stick max, you have it set to somewhere between 0 and 3 as well. Just to reduce enough down of the stick drift, so you can set it to about 3 if you're getting a bit of stick drift as well. Right stick max at 99, left trigger at 0, right trigger at 0. We don't want any delay when we pull the trigger. Make sure left and right are at 0, otherwise it does feel off. Onto the aiming tab, sensitivity multiplier. The only one we change here is ADS sensitivity multiplier to 0.85. Aiming advanced settings, we put on ADS transition timing on instant, third person at assist, and the aim response curve type on dynamic, and we don't touch the curve slope at all. We just leave it on dynamic at 1. Make sure your target aim assist is turned on and ADS aim assist as well. I've come across people who realized they didn't know it was on until they'd played a few games and they're like, my aim's really, really off. So make sure those are turned on. Over to movement, we are playing on tactical sprint assist. I don't want mantle assist on, so make sure you play on, if you like the tac sprint sort of effect, you can have that on. That's just basically when you push the left stick forward, you will get a tactical sprint where your gun will shoot up. It's the fastest way to move around the map. You can put this on so that you can click in your left thumbstick, which I can go over as well. So to do that, we just put it on, and then we go over to advanced settings, and we make sure we put it on tap to sprint. Crouch assist we have off. Corner slice, I don't like the corner slice in the new game, so we make sure we have that turned off. Slide dive behavior, it is by preference. I play on hybrid. You can play on just tap to slide if you don't want to dive at all, which is, it's a new thing in Warzone, probably since Warzone 2. I like the hybrid diving at the moment. It does help, especially when jumping off buildings. Automatic airborne mantle. Do I want this on? Mantle manually. We'll have that. No, we'll turn that one off. Sprint restore. Sprint allows you to resume sprinting after various actions without being required to press L3 again. I have that on. Sprint maintain sprint. Slide maintain sprint. We will turn that one on. Play around with that one. Some people prefer it, but some people don't. I'll try it with on for now. Parachute behavior. We will go automatic behavior. Turn that off. Make sure you turn that off. If you want to get closer to the ground with your parachute without your parachute popping, make sure you turn that off. Mantle cancels reload. Turn that one off as well. Movement advanced settings. So from here, once again, like I said, if you want tactical sprint, you can put it on and then put on single tap sprint, which is where you click in your left thumbstick to sprint. Just put on single tap run for now. Plunging on in water, we put that on free, and sprint. Make sure sprinting door bash is on as well. Grounds of mantle, we have that on while on the ground using the jump button. Turning it off will let you jump and not mantle. Let's turn that one off. Vehicle settings, we don't play with vehicle settings at the moment because there's just not enough vehicles in the game. Over to combat, ADS behavior hold. A lot of these are going to be default as well. Tactical stance behavior on toggle. That's default. Here we go. Body shield / finishing move behavior. This is preference. I want to do the new body shield thing where you grab the guy from behind and bang him against a truck. I prefer that. It's way more funny. Or you can prioritize your finishing move as well. Armor plates, make sure you apply all on that one. C4 detonation, 1 by 1. I want to throw one and then blow it up. I don't want to throw and then blow up because it just takes too long. Behavior hold, combat settings. In here, we want to change interact/reload behavior. Make sure it's on prioritize interact, not prioritize reload. We want to be picking up gear as quickly as possible off the ground. This one's huge. Sprint cancels reload. This came on by default, so make sure you turn off sprint cancels reload. It's really important that you turn that off. Otherwise, it will just feel weird. Depleted ammo weapon switch. I do prefer this. If my gun runs out of bullets, I'm in the middle of a gunfight. I want it to switch guns, so automatically gets the quickest switch to my other gun instead of reloading. Over to audio. Now, for audio, if you haven't already, audio sucks in this game. We all know it. So I've just done the most up-to-date Artist War tune for PC, which makes you hear everything. So if you want better audio in this game, you need to go get the Artist War tune. Go to his YouTube page. It's the most recent video. It will blow up. It's going to be a massive thing. Make sure to get it. I ran all last game, and it was just phenomenal. Better than the default sound. So make sure you go get the Artist War tune if you want. Otherwise, you can be one of those suckers with the crappy default audio. So for master volume, I have it set to 100. Gameplay music at 0. Dialogue, we have at 10. Effects volume is where the footsteps are, so set that to 100. And cinematic volume, we don't need it, also on 0 as well. Once again, if you're on the Artist War tune, he will go over how to do all this. But see, speaker output on 7.1 surround for me. I don't have the enhanced headphone mode on because of the Artist War tune. Artist War also recommends Triarch Mix, or you can use Sucker Punch as a recommendation as well. Mono audio is off. Mute game we minimize, we have off. I stream, so mute license music I have on, I don't want it on. Asymmetrical hearing compensation we have off. Reduced tinnitus sound, we make sure that's on. It just reduces some of those really booming noises from the game. So make sure you have that one on as well. The market preset, we have it to default. You can try it on classic, see what you prefer, see what you like. Voice chat, I have it set to about 25. Just do what's best for your headset, really. On as well. Voice chat, we can put that on all lobby. Or if you're on Steam, make sure you put that on friends only because it will give you more FPS. Put it to all lobby. And then just basically go through the defaults here. All right, so that is basically it for all the in-game settings. Make sure you get those exact settings and you'll get the same, if not similar FPS to me if you're on the same system. Otherwise, just reduce qualities down a little bit to get more frames. If you want to keep that balance on, aim somewhere between that 120 to 160 frames if you're on a lower end PC. We're going to jump into the AMD Radeon software settings right now. Let's head over there. All right, now we are in the AMD Radeon software. First thing I'm going to do is check for updates. Make sure this is up to date with the latest driver. The best one being for Call of Duty is 24.10.1. From here, we go over to our gaming tab. We're going to find Call of Duty, which would be, which one are we playing on? This one. And we're going to go to our global gaming experience. So this will change the settings for all games that you play. I only play Call of Duty. These are the best. You can put it on just Call of Duty if you go here, and these are the same settings. But I prefer to use global experience, so we'll go to global experience here. All right, we'll just run through these. Radeon Super Resolution off, AMD Fluid Motion off, anti-lag, we have this turned on. It does seem to work best at this point. If you're getting stuttering or anything like that, make sure you do turn it off. I prefer it to be on. I don't get stutters. Radeon Boost off, Radeon Chill off. Image sharpening we have on at about 80%. Play around with this. If the game doesn't look the greatest, do it up or down, turn it off, whatever works for you. Video upscale we have off. Radeon enhancing off. Wait for vertical refresh rate always off. Frame rate target control disabled. Anti-aliasing, use application settings. We have the method set to multi-sampling. Morphological anti-aliasing disabled. And so I can never say this. Anisotropic filtering we have enabled at 8x. Texture filter quality on performance. Surface format optimization we also have enabled as well. Tessellation mode we use application settings. OpenGL triple buffering disabled. 10-bit pixel format disabled. Restart shader cache. You can perform a restart after you've done all this as well. Back to our games tab, and we're going to go back into Call of Duty, and we're going to change. Let me bring this over here so you can see. And we're going to change the color settings for this game. So make sure your display is selected as well. And then from here, we're going to go AMD FreeSync, AMD Optimize, scaling mode, go just to default settings, into just scaling default settings. What we want here is the custom color. Make sure it is enabled. The color temperature control is enabled. We set the color temp. It's about 6500. Brightness, we're not touching. Hue, we're not touching. Contrast at 100. Saturation, we just want to increase this up a little bit to give you more pop of colors in the game. So I set it to about 115, play around with it, see what looks nicest for you. You can increase it all the way up. The game will just be full of colors. I prefer it about 115 based on my monitor settings. Over to performance now. We're going to go to tuning, and we're going to make sure AMD Smart Access Memory is enabled. This is my preferred setting. Make sure it's enabled. This will basically give you more frames if you have an AMD CPU and an AMD GPU. You cannot use this if you have a mix of NVIDIA and AMD. Do play around with it a little bit. From everything I've seen, it is the best for frames currently, so make sure that's turned on. All right, guys, that is everything for this video. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of content uploads and live streams, and also follow us over on twitch.com/aimheregaming. We'll be live over there as well as on YouTube. Until next time, guys, use these settings. Let me know what you think of them down in the comments, and I'll try to help where I can. We'll see you in the next one.